Hello and welcome to AppeGeek, a fun twist on a cooking show where three geeky friends come together to try to bring our favorite fandoms to life by whipping up tasty dishes in our home kitchens based on and inspired by our favorite games, shows, movies, and more. I'm Rach.
I'm Nora.
I'm Jeremy.
And we are three geeks who play with our food.
Hello, welcome back. Welcome to our Encanto episode.
Number 11? No. 11?
It is 11. I think we're 11. We should know that, but we don't. It's okay.
Every time I see it, I'm like, what's in this many shows?
No, it's, yeah, I can't believe it, but it's fun. It's going to be a fun episode.
Yes, I love Encanto. It's my favorite Disney movie ever, and I am saying that out loud with my whole chest.
Say it out loud. It still did not nudge out Moana or The Little Mermaid for me. Those have very special places in my heart, but it is a fantastic movie.
Oh, Little Mermaid, yeah.
Lilo and Stitch.
Oh, I love Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah.
Oh, you have to watch
I
it.
know.
Shame none. We need the Disney shame none. She wears mouse ears and it's like, hey.
Perfect. That's fair.
But no, Encanto, you watched it first, got me into it.
I've watched it a lot.
That's understandable. I think it's good for a rewatch or two. I watched it without captions, so I wanted to watch it again, or at least look up the songs, because I feel like I missed a lot. And there's so much in there, and the music is all impactful music, not just a lot of fun sing-songy. So I'm glad I went back and re-listened to everything. But for me, I think one of the things I loved the most about the movie was just, I'm an art nerd, and it was just beautiful. All the colors, it was vibrant, I loved it. And I feel that way about a lot of Disney and Star Wars movies, but this one really stood out to me. So even if I didn't like the plot, which I don't know how you could not, like, it spoke to the art nerd in me.
Yes, I loved everything. I loved the kids' bedrooms and okay, I didn't love everything. I viewed the relationship with the kids.
Oh, I was so mad at it. I was like,
yeah, I was like, no, immediately no. Yeah, but everything.
The rooms were great because they're like extra-dimensional places.
Mm-hmm.
Very unique vibe there.
Yes.
yeah, TARDIS or yeah.
Plus, they can't paint the Madrigals.
I want that now.
Yes.
I want that.
Oh,
I would
so
write that,
beautiful.
except Disney would sue me.
Immediately, you know, said she's business.
But maybe I could just make the non-infringing versions, like I had a Times Square. Like, it's one of it all.
This is called New York something. I don't know.
This is Schmadrigal.
That's right. That's what I was trying to say.
With the Schmadrigal family. And we're
No,
not from
Abuela.
Colombia, it's somewhere else. And we are. Yeah. No, that was a long tangent.
I liked that a lot of their magic and their whole, like the whole movies, there's a lot of food in it. It was centered around food.
Yeah.
Certain events happen around food.
Yeah, I like that. I just liked a lot. I thought every character was multi-dimensional, well thought out. It wasn't just like, here's Liza, she's strong, and here's Isabella, she makes things pretty. And they were multifaceted characters, and I love that we're getting that from Disney now. Because I feel like, and I have a soft spot, obviously. I said Little Mermaid's still one of my favorites for like the Disney movies we grew up with, but I love the change that we're seeing. They're more multifaceted and we're looking at different stuff.
Not so tropey.
I like that Disney's going away from villains, like set villains, like you get Ursula or the Bishop guy and Hunchback, or you had Hades and Hercules. It's more concepts now that you're going with. So Moana was trying to save her people, and Encanto, she's trying to find her place in life. It's almost like Disney's just like forcing therapy on us.
I'll take it.
We need
it.
We need it.
It's a good way.
And it works. And there are things I think that really speak to people, and yes, I enjoyed The Little Mermaid, and there was a part of it that spoke to me because, like, I wanted to see things, and so I felt like, you know, part of that world spoke to me. I wanted to go out and see the world, but not in the same way that like these movies, where it's people facing like, I mean, it's not an everyday struggle. Most of us don't have a medical family, but at its core, it was an everyday struggle. Like how to find your place within your family, your community, and like Isabella, like she spoke to my heart. Like I struggled with like I gotta be perfect all the time, and so I'm like, yes, girl, make those cactuses. I want to make cactuses too.
Mine was Louisa. I tear up every time the surface pressure. I know you Gen Xers and elder millennials are with me. Yeah, she's the one that connected with me.
I'm gonna say it, Bruno.
You can't talk about it.
Yeah, I can't talk about it.
Bruno.
I love that song. I was singing the song all day long.
It'll be in our heads the rest of the day. Like you just say Bruno. That's in my head.
Sorry.
But yeah, let's talk about food because there was food in this movie and it played a decent role in it. So it was easy to come up with a menu for this one. So I took on the Arepas. I liked them anyway. First time I had an arepa was at Bonnaroo. I thought it was magical there. And now I know, I guess I was right. They are magical. Always with them. But so we decided to make our arepas two ways because they're commonly made a couple of different ways. And so we did the traditional, like the cheese arepa, and then we decided to do more of a sweet one that we stuffed, or I'm going to stuff with cream cheese and some fruit and maybe a little honey just to give it an extra sweet kick. And I kind of like that. You get that best of both worlds there. You can have arepa for lunch and dessert. It's perfect.
I don't think I've ever had a sweet arepa, so I'm very excited for that.
I hope it will be very good. I've read a lot of delicious sweet arepa recipes, and I think this is one that should be, it's sweet but not too sweet, so it should be one that everybody likes.
All right, sounds good. I took Abuela's Ajiaco soup. I'm sorry, not Spanish. I am from Abuela. So, it is Colombian chicken and potato soup. We all know it's a very special meal in the movie. It was the burrito song that led to surface pressure, and it kind of was the turning point for the movie. So I'm going to give it a whirl. It takes simple ingredients, but it takes a long time to cook. I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, I went with a mocktail for this episode using Lulo, which is apparently a fruit from Colombia. Could not find the fruit itself, so I just bought Lulo juice. Then mix that with some margarita mix because it's already at the lime, and then the sour I'm looking for, so that's some agave in it, so the sweetness that I want. And then that's the mocktail, so the Lulo salad, or whatever you want to call it. It's good.
Well, what we did want to call it, and what we thought was really fun, is we named it We Don't Talk About Lulo. At least I'm in love with the name, even if the drink is disappointing. But I don't think it will be. It sounds really good. So, yeah.
I guess we just picking.
Yeah, that soup's going to take a while. So let's get on it. Let's do it.
All right.
Hey guys, I am here and ready to get us started on our arepas, and we are going to make them two ways. We're going to make a savory arepa and we're going to make a sweet one. The base dough for both of these is exactly the same, so I'll walk you through that, and then when we get to the divergence where we make a sweet one and a savory one, we'll step through all of that too. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We're going to start out with what our ingredients are. So the first thing that you're going to need is 2 cups of pre-cooked cornmeal masa arepa. This is its own thing, and I've got it here in this bowl. It's very fine. It kind of looks like cornmeal that you use to make cornbread, only it's a little finer. Pre-cooked is the way this normally comes, so if you find it, just make sure it says on the bag somewhere that it's pre-cooked. And you want masa arepa. There are other types of meals that are just called masa, and it's not quite the same stuff. I found this at my local grocery store. You can usually get it at Whole Foods. If you can't find it in either of those places, usually like a Latin market will have it, or you can always fall back on Amazon. So we're going to use 2 cups of that for this batch. We're going to use 2 cups of hot water, not boiling but not room temperature either, just get it nice and warm. We're going to use some salt, about a 1/4 teaspoon. We got much more in here, but we'll measure that out. 2 tablespoons of butter, and we want to soften that up. So you can either just let it sit out on your counter for a little bit before you get started, or like I did here, I just popped this in the microwave for 10 seconds. We don't want it melted, just a little bit soft. We'll talk a little bit now about our fillings. So for our savory arepa, it is a queso arepa, and we're just going to use some mozzarella. We're doing sliced mozzarella cheese. If you can't find the slices, you can get like a ball of mozzarella and slice it up yourself, but why put more work on yourself than you have to? For our sweet version, for our dessert arepa, we're going to use some cream cheese, about 3 tablespoons of cream cheese. We're going to use just a handful of raspberries, and I have taken a bar muddler and just kind of crushed them up a little bit. Basically, we want to make kind of like not a jam, but kind of a spreadable raspberry filling. If you don't have like a muddler for a bar, you can use the back of a spoon, really anything to just crush them up. And 1 banana that we're going to cut into slices and layer on there. And just a drizzle of honey. If you don't like honey, you could use agave nectar or golden syrup, just something to give it a little extra sweet kick. So the first thing we're going to do is mix the dough up. And what we're going to do for that is just mix up our hot water and our salt, our masa arepa, and our softened butter. I'm going to be back in just a second. I'm going to refresh my water with something nice and warm because this is probably cooled down while we were filming. So I'll be back in 1 second just to get that started. All right, so I'm back. You can see my water is actually warm now. There's steam coming off of it. You are going to be mixing this with your hands. So like I said before, hot water, not boiling. Please don't burn yourselves. So we're going to take 2 cups of our hot water. We're going to dump it in with our masa arepa. We're going to add 1 tablespoon of our softened butter. The other tablespoon we're saving to grease our pan so our arepas don't stick when it's time to cook them. And then we're going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of our salt. And we're just going to get in there with our hands and mix it all together. You want to make sure, this is why the softened butter is important. You want to make sure it distributes evenly. You don't want one arepa that is a butter bomb, or maybe you do. But probably not. That'll make the rest of yours probably fall apart if you put all of your butter in one. So we're just squeezing this together till it comes together as just a dough. We want to kind of form it together when it holds together as a ball. Sorry, I cannot speak today. When it comes together and forms a nice ball, you don't see any obvious, like, see here where I've got some bits that are still dry. That means I haven't mixed it enough. So you just want it to look homogeneous and come together in a dough ball, and then we're going to divide it out into 6 individual pieces. So we're going to have 3 of each kind of our arepa, because there's 3 of us here. But you can certainly double this and make more. I am making a huge mess. It's what I do best in the kitchen. All right, so this here has pretty much come together except for the bits that I've thrown out onto the counter. So this is what you want it to look like. And then we're just going to try to divide it up into 6 roughly even balls. So I'm going to start by just splitting mine in half, and then splitting that in half, just kind of going from there. So we've got one here. What I've got over here is some parchment paper. I'm going to use my salt bowl and a little paring knife to hold down. And you're going to take each of these balls and put them down on parchment paper, because what we want to do is flatten them out when we're done with them. You don't want to cook it from a big ball. That just makes, again, more work for yourself, but you're going to have to work on flattening it out and such when you are actually cooking these if you don't do it now. So I'm going to spread these out here. I'm going to do them 3 at a time just because I don't have a ton of parchment paper. So I'm going to set this to the side, clean up my mess a little bit here. Move my mess and move my workspace here. So what we want to do is take our 3 balls, set them kind of far apart from each other, and take another piece of parchment and place over top of them, and then we just want to flatten them out. So I'm going to get it started with my hands, and then I like to use something heavy like a lid to a pot. My Dutch oven's really heavy, so I like to use that lid. A baking sheet with something else on it. It's kind of the way I used to press my tofu before I got a tofu press. So we just want to flatten these out. The goal is to get them to be roughly 5 inches. So you want to flatten them out to where they're about 1/3 of an inch thick and about 5 inches in diameter. So I've still got a ways to go on these here. So we'll just keep flattening, and then we'll add that heavy something on top just to really push them the rest of the way down and make sure we've got the right thickness and the right diameter. So I'm going to set these under something heavy for a few minutes, and then as soon as they have flattened all the way out, we'll be back to cook them. I'm going to cook them on a griddle. You can also cook them on the stove top, just in a pan. Anything, you know, as long as you can get it warm and cook something flat in it, it will work. So either way works. I just think it's easy to use the griddle. So we'll be back in just a few minutes when we are ready to cook these. All right, we are back. I have got my griddle set up. Like I said before, you can definitely do this on the stove top. Same type of like pan you would use to make pancakes, and should work well for this. So I have flattened these out. You can see they're about the size of my hand. If you have small hands, they might be bigger. If you have large hands, they won't quite fill your hand. They're about the texture of Play-Doh at this point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the rest of my butter and drop it onto the griddle. That's just going to grease our griddle up so that these don't stick. And then we're going to put each one on here, leave them for about 3 minutes on each side. I have heated this up to just kind of medium heat. So for my griddle, that's about 350. Whatever is medium on your griddle or stove, that's what we're going for. Just going to spread this butter around so we don't only have one buttery arepa. And then I'm just going to place them on here. 3 minutes roughly each side. Depending on how you have your heat, you might need to go a little less than that. What you don't want to do is get them like seared. Essentially, you want to really cook these through and through. So we're going to let these cook for about 3 minutes. We're going to flip them and then cook them for 3 more minutes, and that's when we will stuff them. Alright, so we have let these cook. As you can see, they've got a nice golden brown on their tops on both sides at this point. So I'm going to remove them from the heat, and we are going to stuff them and finish them up. So for stuffing them, we've got 2 different types here. So we're going to do the sweet one and we're going to do the savory. So we'll start out here with our savory because it is the most work. So we're going to take these. Please use caution if you just pulled them off the griddle or the pan. They're going to be hot, so be careful. And you're going to slice them open like you would a bagel or an English muffin. It's a little bit difficult because they're not that thick, but you just want to get a good opening. We're going to pop in a slice or 2 of mozzarella cheese, depending on how cheesy you like them. I love cheese, so I'm putting 2 in mine. We're going to close them back up and pop it on the griddle again or in your pan again for just a few minutes, just to let the cheese get nice and melty. Now the other one that we're going to do, we're going to cut it open, stuff it, and it's done and ready to eat. So we're going to do the same thing, just kind of gently slice in. Try to keep it as even as possible, but it's not the end of the world. Take my plate here, just set this down on it, both sides. Going to fill it up with some cream cheese. We're just going to spread some across. I've left this out on the counter so it's at room temperature, so it's easier to spread. These are a little bit delicate, so definitely please use warm cream cheese or you are setting yourself up for failure. So we're just going to smush that out, spread it, and we're going to add just a little bit. I don't have a spoon, so I'm just going to reuse this. Just a little bit of our raspberry mixture here. Just going to scoop this on. However fruity you want it to be. And then a little bit of banana. I like to put about 3 on there. Depending on how big you made them, you might want to put a few more. And then we'll just drizzle a little honey on there and close it back up. That one doesn't go back on the griddle. It can if you really want your cream cheese to kind of goo out and get runny, but it definitely doesn't need it. So this cheese one, I'm just going to flip one time just to keep it nice and even.
and let it go for a couple seconds more. Not very long. As you can see, my cheese is already starting to get nice and melty. And then we'll just pull it off. We're going to plate these up all nice and pretty. We're going to stuff the rest of them, and then they are ready to eat. All right, they're ready. We've got our savories on top, our sweet on the bottom. Fair warning, the sweet ones are a little bit of a mess, so be prepared to wear it.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm sure it'll be delicious. I'm just gonna dip into this savory one. Ooh,
Bon appetit.
Bon appetit. Oh my gosh. Mm-hmm.
It's cheesy, gooey, good stuff.
I can see how these can heal you.
I don't think these will, but you never know. Maybe I'm part of the Madrigal family. I just don't know. Try this sweet one now. I think that's going to be the one that heals me. If you don't have a berry mustache afterwards, you haven't done it right. I have a berry puddle.
It's fine. Oh, that banana.
Oh yeah, I think that really kicks it up. Yeah, well, we're going to eat these. We'll see you later.
Hello, and welcome to the Mocktail portion of the show, where we're going to make a We Don't Talk About Lulo mocktail. Normally you make this using Lulo fruit, but since that is hard to find in the US, I just bought Lulo juice drink. Made by hand. Do a team right there or something. Yeah. So we're going to take 2 of these bottles. They are about 8 ounces each. Pour those into a giant pitcher. Going to add about a cup of margarita mix. You can use just lime juice, but this margarita mix is really good, really sour, so I'm using it. Add a bunch of ice. Water to kind of thin that sweetness out. Stir, and you're good to go. All right, and then you just pour. And bon appetit.
Hello friends, I'm so excited to be starting off our Encanto episode. I've got a very special soup here. It is Abuela's Ajiaco, or the Colombian chicken and potato soup. This was an important moment in the movie, as we know. It gave us that song, which I won't say, even though it's already stuck in my mind, just from mentioning it. It also gave us my favorite song, which was, I can't remember now, Surface Pressure from the oldest sister. Gets me in my feels. All my baby Gen Xers know what I'm talking about. Anyway, we're gonna make the soup. I'm just gonna go over the ingredients. Most of it's gonna be done over at the stove. So let's get started. First off, I have got our chicken. I'm using chicken thighs. I've also done this with chicken breasts, but I just like the way the chicken thighs taste better and the texture of it. You can use whatever you want. This has been marinating. It doesn't have liquid, but it's been chilling out with 3 tablespoons of minced garlic and 1 whole sweet yellow onion, just roughly chopped up. It's been sitting out for about 24 hours, not sitting out. It's been in the fridge. Don't sit your chicken out, friends. That's bad. Anyway, next we've got some potatoes. I just use these little red potatoes because you don't have to peel them, and just cut them in half. This is about 1 pound, or one of the little bags that you get from the grocery store. We also have some frozen corn niblets. I have 6 here. You want just enough to put in the pot, but you don't want it to be overwhelming. So 6 to 8, I've got 6. Lots of chicken broth or vegetable broth. This is vegetable broth. 6 cups, 4 to 6 cups. Depends on what kind of pan you use. I used a shallow cast iron pan, and I had to use a lot more because you want to make sure the corn gets covered. But 4 to 6 cups of broth, a couple tablespoons of olive oil, a half a tablespoon of salt. That's a lot of salt. It's going to be okay. You need it for the chicken. Just a pinch of pepper, and we've got some cilantro and green onions that I just tied with some kitchen twine. They're going to be just dumped in whole, and then I'm going to take them out before we serve. Is that it? Oh, we have this as a Colombian spice called guascas. I would recommend trying to pick it up. I got this from Amazon, free for like $5. You can also try to find it in Whole Foods. If you don't want to buy something just for this recipe, you can use dried oregano. But it does change the flavor, so I would recommend picking it up. And I think that is all, so I'm going to gather up all my stuff and meet you back over at the stove.
Heat 2 tablespoons of olive oil in a hot Dutch oven that's set to medium-high heat. Then add in our chicken thighs that's been marinating in the onion and garlic, and also add a half a tablespoon of both salt and pepper. Cook that for about 6 to 7 minutes or until the chicken just starts to turn brown. Then you're going to turn your heat up to high, add in your veggie broth, and bring that to a boil. After it boils, reduce the heat to medium-low, cover and cook for 25 minutes. Then remove your chicken from the pot, turn your heat back up to medium-high heat, add your potatoes, cover and cook for 6 additional minutes. After that, you're going to add in your corn, your guascas, your green onion and cilantro bundles. Simmer that for 15 minutes or until the corn and potatoes are cooked. Then you're going to remove your bundles. While that's cooking, you're going to tear or slice your chicken, and then after you remove your bundles, add the chicken back to the pot, cook for 2 to 3 minutes, and then your soup is ready to serve.
We did it! We made the 1 hour soup.
It smells so good.
Yeah,
so good.
So we're just going to talk about some toppings. What I have is crema mexicana. You can also use sour cream. This is not tangy, and it's a lot thinner. So if you want the same kind of not tangy, you can use creme fraiche as well. But I like it. Also have some soapy cilantro and some avocado.
Sounds soapy to me.
I wish it wasn't soapy, but here we are. So I'm going to skip the soap, and I'm just going to add some cream into mine.
Grab some soap.
Just a little avocado.
Try cilantro for all your cleaning needs.
Yes. Very good. Okay. Yeah. I'm not going to eat the corn on camera because that would be embarrassing. It's delicious stuff.
Ooh, drizzle mine on artistic like, even though we can't see into my bowl.
Just gonna mix it up. All right, there we go.
All right.
Bon appetit.
Bon appetit.
Oh yeah.
There is so much flavor in this soup.
Flavor dance.
I love it. Love it.
And a potato. I love this soup.
It is worth the hour of cook time. Absolutely. Every day.
All right, well, I'm going to go dig into this corn. So you guys should make the soup. It's delicious, and we'll see you later.
All right, that was it. That was Encanto.
Yes,
Me too.
that was
Me too.
a lot of good food.
It was very good, very good. Easier than I thought it would be. I guess because the soup takes so long, I thought it was going to be like a ton of work and really hard, but it didn't look like it. So
Once you get the ingredients together, you just throw it on the pot.
that is my kind of recipe.
Yes.
So, all right, so what did everyone think? What do you like for this?
The soup. The broth alone made it like that. I want that to be bath water, full water, sweat.
You know, I used to always say that I thought that like paradise would be like a lake of queso that I could swim through.
Oh.
But you're right, it might be that broth. It might be that broth.
A hot tub of queso.
It's Scrooge up with that soup.
And it would be less dangerous than diving into a pool of coins. So
Yes.
it's a win-win.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna agree with you. That soup was phenomenal. And you're right, that broth, like I could just eat the broth and, well, probably not, no, okay, but I could eat the broth and think this tastes really good and then find something else to actually fill me up. But Luckily, I don't have to because it's full of yumminess and it's absolutely delicious. I love it.
Well, I loved everything. The raspberry, the banana, and the cream cheese was the other that was very delicious. But I'm gonna have to go with the soup. I love the soup. I've already made it like 5 times at home. It's amazing. It's so easy.
I do also want to give a shout out to the mocktail though. Like this is a mocktail that I felt like I was drinking. Like it is one of those like if you were going truly for the mocktail thing, not just like this is a festive drink, but like the fake cocktail or the non-alcoholic cocktail vibes. It has it. Like I felt like I was drinking a drink. So I think that's really cool anytime that happens. So shout out to the mocktail for that. But that's it. Well, yeah. So if you guys make any of this, we would love to see how it turned out. We'd love to hear from you, what you liked, what you didn't like. So if you do any of that, if you make it, you want to show us a picture. If you stuff your arepas with something different, we'd love to know.
Yes.
So whatever, use hashtag AppeGeek. Pretty much any socials out there. We're looking for you. We'd love to see what you did. We'd love to hear your thoughts. So hashtag AppeGeek. If you are looking for us, Nora, tell them where they can find us.
Yes. Well, first you can stop off at our website. The address is down below. It is
AppeGeek.com. There it is. Yes.
It's bookmarked on my computer.
Show is really important to put in there. I think unexceptional.com is either unregistered or go somewhere random. So put unexceptional.show.com in there.
And you will find all the recipes from today and all our other episodes in there. So you just click the link down below. We're also on the Facebook and the Twitter and the Instagram. Always Bon Appetit Show. So yeah, and I am looking out for those hashtags. If you make a Nutella arepa, please, I'm looking for you.
If you make a Nutella arepa, please post the recipe. Or just ship it to me. I'm not going to give you my address, so I'm not doxing myself.
Very good.
We also have a coffee.
Yes.
So if you would like to help keep this show going, 100% of anything that is contributed goes directly back into the show. We don't pay ourselves. We do this for fun. We just use any of that money to buy ingredients and fun props like these fans and things. So that is also in the link down below, or it's Bon Appetit Show on coffee as well. We have some more shows coming up that I'm super excited about.
But first, if you missed any of our previous episodes, you will find them linked in the eye over here and also a link down below. This one links to our last episode of What We Do in the Shadows, which was one of my favorite episodes ever. Love that show. Love the charcuterie board. But yes, coming up next is our 90s, 80s, 90s retro snack show.
It's going to be super fun. It's all of our favorites from when we were younger that you can't find anymore, from like restaurants or junk food. Super excited about that.
Stuff like that.
So that'll be coming out the 4th Sunday in May. So please don't miss it. Make sure you come back for that.
And if you want to make sure, you can go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below and get the little bell right beside it, and you will be notified whenever we post.
It's a great idea. Do it if you haven't. But until then, we will see you in a few weeks in all of our retro festive fun time. Yeah, it'll be fun.
Wait. All right, thanks guys.
Bye.